Savage. Paula, wait, tonight, the party?
Yes.
These sexy hands, the fancy brushwork.
About Malcolm, it's an emergency.
Malcolm's in trouble?
No, but this girl, somebody's trying to kill her, and Malcolm says that you met her.
What girl, Maggie?
Paula Wirehouse.
Oh, yeah, she's a sculptress. She's into that crazy metal stuff. What's the matter? Is she into drugs or something?
No, bodies.
Bodies?
Oh, yeah, no, she's trying to get her Uncle Barney's coffin dug up. She claims that he's not inside it.
How does she know that?
Well, they had a closed funeral.
Yeah, it was closed funeral. And?
Was she peaked?
She what?
Oh, what I mean is, well, she peaked, but I mean, she was...
She peeked into the coffin?
Oh, well, what I mean, she peaked, yes, but what I mean is she was paying her last respects, the night before the services, and he wasn't inside it.
Look, Maggie, Mac and I are involved in this land development thing, see? So you tell her that we're busy, and that's it, okay?
Well, wouldn't you just talk to her? I mean, she calls me up and gets hysterical. I don't know what to say to her.
Okay, Maggie, take it easy. You tell her I'll drop by, okay?
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Fine, thank you.
Good. Isn't Malcolm wonderful?
That's just a sideline.
Has Malcolm told you everything?
Malcolm, sit down.
Thank you.
He hasn't told me anything.
Someone's trying to kill me. 3 times in the last 10 days, there have been these accidents. Things falling. Cars swerving. I'm very afraid.
Have you gone to the police about this?
I can't. I mean, this is a small town. Everybody knows everybody else. And the sheriff and I, well, we're not on the best of terms. I mean, this whole town thinks I'm crackers.
What you're saying is that the whole town thinks that you're a bit crackers because of the art?
Yes, but that's not the point. The point is my dead Uncle Barney Wirehouse. He's not in his casket. I know that sounds bizarre, but I'm certain they never buried Uncle Barney. At the burial, I could tell he wasn't in there. I could feel it, a void. I mean, I swear to you that casket was empty.
Do you have any idea how illegal this is?
I've almost got it open.
Well, you're not going to get it open by standing on the lid. Here, let me get it. I have a knack for opening things.
Where did you learn how to do that?
Don't ask.
See? Sandbags. They never buried Uncle Barney. I was right. Now, the question is why?
Yeah, let's fill this up and get out of here.
No, no, no. I mean, why don't we just show them that this grave holds a pile of sandbags and not Uncle Barney?
Are you nuts? Are you crazy?
No!
I could be put back into a cell the size of this grave. I mean, I'm on parole, Paula. My partner could have his license revoked. That's out.
The coffin's already open.
Don't ever say that. Don't ever say that we opened up a coffin. Don't ever say that, okay? I mean, That's a felony, an unpopular felony. I mean, this hole being dug like this is a misdemeanor, I hope. Oh, they kidding me?
All right, you. Come out of there with your hands behind your neck. Grave robbery. Did he confess the grave robbery? He confessed to nothing. Claimed he was just out taking a walk and fell in.
He fell in? Miss Philbin, make a note of that. The prisoner's taking an innocent walk. He fell into an unmarked hazard. No, just a minute. What did you and that cemetery drunk actually see? Did you see the accused digging?
Well, actually, no, not with my own eyes.
You didn't see him with your own eyes digging. Make a note of that. Be very important in a court of law. Did you actually see him touch the casket?
If he was sitting on it, he was touching it.
He was sitting on it? Make a note of that, Miss Philbin. The poor accused is probably injured from falling into that unmarked hazard, sitting on the casket. Have you any idea how this is going to sound in a court of law? How you're going to look when Ryan sues you for false arrest?
You're making it sound like he was taking a stroll down Main Street on Sunday afternoon. That ex-convict in there was trespassing on a cemetery. A cemetery that just happens to be Wind Forest Meat and Potatoes.
Hi, Mr. Ryan.
Hiya, Maggie.
You're charged with trespassing. $500 worth of trespassing.
500 in a pig's eye. Okay, Pete, how did it happen?
Mac, believe me, you don't want to know what happened. Just trust me. Don't get into it, okay? Don't press it.
And it's not a question of pressing, but what in the hell were you doing inside an open grave?
For the sake of you, for the sake of me, for the sake of the business, what I was trying to do was to prevent a felony. Now,
Prevent a felony?
Prevent a felony. Now, don't press it any
Whose?
further.
Oh, Pete, that open grave wouldn't be Barney Wirehouse's, huh? Oh,
You don't want to know.
and the felon, Paula, your crazy client?
You don't want to know. You don't want to know. Believe
Right.
me.
No, I got it. Yeah. Paula was there trying to dig up her uncle's body. You happened along and you tried to stop her.
No comment.
Look, Pete, you and I are going back to the office now, and we're going to start to work on that housing development
Look,
problem. I need your help.
No, Mac, I just can't do it. I've got to see this thing through. I just have to.
You're obligated?
Yeah, I feel obligated, and I'm worried about the girl, and that's what I have to do.
I suppose I could work alone, yeah?
Just trust me, will you? Just please trust me.
Like Mr. Dooley says, trust everybody, but cut the cards.
Sorry.
Oh, you heard that, huh?
Sure, I was up on the steps listening. Why didn't you tell your partner everything? We could have used the manpower.
Oh, sure, and get Mac's license revoked and have him become an accessory after the fact? Huh. I mean, as it is now, I'm only an accessory to grave robbing.
We just peeked.
Hey, don't ever admit that.
Right.
Never admit that. You got it? Paula, I hope this lawyer of yours is good. Before this thing is all over, we're going to need some good legal counsel.
Nate Selig's been the family lawyer for years. He knows what he's doing.
Sandbags? I can't believe it. Are you two absolutely positive?
Nate, I do know the difference between a pile of sandbags and Uncle Barney.
Mr. Selig, what do you feel about these 3 attempts that have been made on Paula's life?
Well, they are extremely regrettable, but there is some possibility they were simply accidents.
I know one thing. Someone didn't want to have us get into that grave. The question is, who?
You know, Barney was well into that dangerous age. I just wonder if he didn't pull a disappearing act. Maybe there's money missing from the Wirehouse Construction Company's books.
Is there any way of you finding that out? Could you check into that?
Of course, I can look into it.
In which case, he could be in Rio with one of his chesty chums.
What do you think our chances would be of getting the court to petition an exhumation order again?
Our chances are nil unless we can gain the widow's consent. That's not very likely. Believe me, we've tried.
And we try again.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Barney must remain where he is. With the worms. It's such a poetic justice.
It is that same poetic justice that has us worried, Mrs. Wirehouse. You see, we think that Mr. Wirehouse may still be alive.
In Rio, spending the money he stole from the company.
And in a very unpoetic way.
Oh, nonsense. I was with him. I witnessed Barney's heart attack. Poolside. Near the canvas chairs is where he fell. As I reflect upon that night, I rejoiced.
Well, you could think of it this way, Mrs. Wirehouse. You may have the rare opportunity to see Barney buried again.
Oh, no. Once is more than sufficient.
Do you?
Now we investigate. We probe around, we ask some questions. What we do is construct a factual landscape.
That's great, but what kind of questions do we ask?
What we ask is less important than whom we ask. Now consider your Uncle Barney's problems in setting up his disappearance. He'd have to get a phony medical examiner's report. He'd have to get clearance from a cemetery. He'd have to get cooperation from a funeral home.
I tell you, Pete, I wouldn't overlook a cemetery employee on a take. I mean, after all, these people don't make what you would call big money.
You're right. Malcolm, check out Gravediggers.
Gravediggers? Oh, terrific. The jobs you give me, Pete. Gravediggers.
Wait, Pete. That was very clever of you. Analyze the crime from the crook's point of view.
How about that?
You were very sweet to Aunt Rose. Thank you. Accident. Purpose. 4 times. I have to... It's 4 times it's happened. You know it's on purpose.
Bet it was on purpose.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Now look. Aside from you and me running off to Paris together, there's only one way to get out of this little problem, and that's to solve it.
Yes.
I also want you to know that I don't think you're a kooky artist. I think you're a very nice lady.
Oh.
You're also a very good artist. Okay? And I also know that you're not making up things.
No.
Okay, now try to remember. Who did the autopsy on Uncle Barney?
It was Dr. Schneider.
Of course I performed an autopsy. Law says you got it. Unless a certified MD is present at the time of death.
And the cause of death?
Coronary thrombosis. Massive.
How sure are you that the deceased was Barney Wirehouse?
Look, young fella, I knew Barney Wirehouse for 50 years. I'd recognize him coming, going, or lying on his back.
Then there is no doubt that the deceased was Barney Wirehouse.
Of course. Same man, same look, same everything.
What look?
Look mean. You always look mean. That's because he was mean.
Burial instructions ask for a closed casket. And a closed casket's a closed casket.
You should have respected that, honey. I guess I forgot to mention, at the burial, I tried taking a look. You should have seen her. She fought like a wildcat. Took 5 of us to hold her down.
Who ordered that the casket be closed?
Mr. Wirehouse himself. Oh, he left an entire list of instructions. Suit, shoes, necktie, the works. The widow Rose wanted us to dig 12 feet. But, of course, we couldn't do that. Makes a body wonder.
Wonder about what?
Well, how badly Mr. Wirehouse must have treated her. He was a genuine devil, that one. Closed casket was smart. Cut the smiling down to a minimum.
As I was saying, Mr. Ryan, we call this model the Ulysses S. Grant. Being as broad as he was, it fit Barney to a T. And the veneer, of course, harmonized with his natural coloring. A small thing, perhaps, but sometimes, in a period of grief, small things can matter the most.
Mr. Dent, did you actually see the late Barney Wirehouse installed in this model of casket?
Oh, more than that, Mr. Ryan. I personally laid him to rest, as we say.
You do know that it's been rumored that Barney Wirehouse wasn't in the casket at the time of burial.
Oh, that? Well, that's your fault. She's quite a vixen, you know. Bohemian. Frankly, I believe that she stirred up all that exhumation business purely for publicity for her art exhibits.
Outside of burial, have you ever had any other business dealings with Barney Wirehouse?
No, I can't say that I ever enjoyed that pleasure.
Pleasure? I assume by pleasure that you mean obviously that he was a man of business acumen and integrity, huh?
On the record? Mr. Ryan, I'm afraid there are conventions concerning dear ones who have gone on to their respective rewards.
Off the record?
Off the record? Barney Wirehouse was an egg-sucking ferret.
What I don't understand is how you can be so involved with somebody that obviously everyone despises.
I didn't despise Uncle Barney. I mean, he liked my artwork. He was the first one to buy something I made. You know, anybody who appreciates art can't be all bad.
Well, I can understand that. You know that.
Well, it's true in every other way it was pig.
Now, look, let me tell you one thing. I need your help. Investigation isn't easy, so you have to tell me everything you know. Now, come on, give me the whole story.
Okay. Well, there's Aunt Rose. I mean, she's quite a character. I mean, she was a little dippy to begin with, but knowing Uncle Barney sent her right over the edge, and that helped Uncle Barney.
Helped Uncle Barney?
Yes.
How?
It gave him the big affair with Selena. Oh, he'd had a lot of little ones beforehand with exotic dancers, but then there was Selena.
Selena? Who is Selena?
Selena Reinhardt.
Hiya.
Hi, Malcolm.
Pete?
Hey, Malcolm, how's it going?
Well, you told me to check gravediggers, the pick and shovel circuit. Nothing.
Well, let's meet this Selena, all right?
Listen, Pete, I don't think Selena's going to be candid with me there. I mean, she's not a woman's woman, you know.
Okay,
You got it, Pete.
You're an L.A. detective, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Sit down. I spend my share of time in L.A.
Oh?
Yeah, I get my clothes there. Have to. Like this?
Oh, it's lovely. Lovely. Did Barney like it?
He liked what's in it.
Tell me something. When you were with Barney, did he ever talk to you about going on a vacation or traveling someplace like to Hawaii or to Rio or the French Riviera, places like that?
Whatever's in mine, Mr. Ryan. I like the geography.
Oh, thanks.
Especially the French Riviera.
You haven't answered my question.
Maybe I can answer your question.
Oh, Mr. Ryan, Raymond. My husband.
Hiya.
Mr. Ryan's in,
Aluminum storm doors.
aluminum storm doors.
Aluminum storm doors, huh? And you're in your bathrobe.
Oh, Ray, this is a day robe. Now, everyone's wearing them.
Yeah, everybody's wearing those, Ray.
Well, I don't wear them.
Oh?
You know what? All the time, I thought it was that greasy-lipped Barney Warehouse. They just... Hey, wait.
Oh, no.
You're gonna think...
Wait a second.
I'm gonna tear you off.
Come on.
Hey, Paul, take it easy.
Get back!
Please,
Hey, listen.
Oh, no.
You're going.
I know Pete a long time. He can take care of himself. Flash your hands.
No!
Yeah, this isn't your kind of case at all, Mac.
Look, please involve me, will you? Give me the facts.
There was no body in the casket.
There was no body. You looked?
Well, I took a little peek.
Oh, Pete, what's the matter with you? That's a felony. What are you doing peeking into graves? Come on. Obviously, there's some glaring piece of evidence that you've overlooked. This whole thing makes no sense. Unless everybody in town was in on it. And that's a very public way for Barney Wirehouse to stage a disappearance.
It's embezzlement, pure and simple. Selig is sure of it. At least I'm right about that.
Uh-huh. Case-breaking evidence.
I just finished an audit on the Wirehouse Construction Company books. You know those millions I figured would be missing? Well, they're there. Not a dime is missing. It's all there in the bank where it should be.
Well, if Barney Wirehouse is alive and well in Rio, he's living on master charge.
There's no sense. This case makes no sense.
Here? Yes, go ahead. Well, by now, I should have thought that the girl and her detective friend would be inoperable. Are you joshing me? Another private eye? Oh, 2 more and a secretary. All right, why don't we take a moment and just regroup? First of all, we've got to get Barney Wirehouse out of San Diego and bring him back home where he belongs. Second, we've been tipped that the Sunnyvale operation, the investigation is going through. So we'll need an appropriate stiff up there. From your point of view, I shouldn't think there'd be any problem with bodies. Now, my gut instinct tells me that the time has come for us to draw the curtain. I can't think of a way to silence the girl and those detective characters unless you can. Listen, for the kind of money we're making, inspiration should be routine. All right, we need a bit of time, ergo distraction. No, just something to tie up their brains for half a day until Barney comes marching home. Distractions.
3 years of work ruined.
You know, I wouldn't even know who to look for. What kind of a person? Pete, I owe you an apology. I didn't dream it was anything like this. Paula's right. Oh, the direct approach. We got to get into that.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're not talking about nighttime exhumation. Not you.
Daytime exhumation. We got to light a fire under that attorney. I'm surprised that he hasn't seen how easily it is to bluff that sheriff.
I don't care about any California code. In this county, the widow has to give her consent. And Rose Wirehouse ain't about to do that. You know that. It ain't no mystery that you've been trying to dig up that grave. Trespass. Why, he ought to be doing time for desecration.
Sheriff, there are some precedents here. One in 1923, one in 1946. Did you tell this character what the judge said?
John, I spoke to Judge Cocker.
Did he okay exhumation?
He will if you will.
Judge Cocker wants the people on this list at the graveside. By subpoena, if necessary.
Sheriff?
They generally stay where we put them. You might want to remember that for the next time.
I swear to you, Mac, there were sandbags in that casket.
You don't have to swear to me. I can see that there's something very peculiar around here. Let me ask you something. Did you get a look at that gravedigger? He had a very expensive turquoise medallion on, a digital computer wristwatch, expensive shoes, a ring. Do they make that kind of money?
The guy you're talking about is Jim Buck.
Let's check him out.
Hey, that search warrant stuff.
After what has happened, do you think that the sheriff is going to issue us a search warrant?
No, but we could wait till Malcolm finds Jim Buck and talks to him.
You know, Mac, I admire your legal integrity. You know that?
Thank you.
For heaven's sake.
Oh, sometimes you irritate me. Hey, what's all this?
Pretty heavy bookkeeping for a gravedigger, huh?
Coast Consolidated Life and Casualty. Attention, Emerson Harkness, Vice President.
These are life insurance applications.
Actuarial tables, death certificates.
This gravedigger is moonlighting as an insurance agent. Can you imagine the commissions he's making?
You know what we got
Wait
here.
a second. What would he be doing, living in a trailer and digging graves? If this is legal, we are in the wrong profession.
Don't worry, this is not legal.
You noticed, huh?
I noticed, yeah.
Goodbye evidence. You all right, Mac?
I could do this every day. Think I'm new to this business?
What do you call these? Bananas?
No, the 20 people who hated Barney, that's got nothing to do with anything. You see, Jim Buck, the gravedigger, and Harkness, the VP over at Coast Consolidated, they had a little swindle going together. Jim Buck was also a registered life insurance salesman. What he would do, he'd make out a phony application for a life insurance policy on some non-existent person. He'd invent a name, you know, like Ryan, something like that.
Mac, don't use Ryan, will you?
Oh, all right, Charlie Claffentaffer. Invent the name, you know. He'd then send this application, the phony application, over to Harkness. Harkness would honor it. Now they're in business. Every month they'd pay the premium money, let it cool for a couple of years, and then one day Harkness would call Jim Buck. He'd say, Jim, old boy, says, I think I need a little vacation, a little fresh air, and so forth. Have you got any ideas for cash? Jim Buck would then make out a phony death certificate on Ryan, Claffentaffer. He would send the phony death certificate over to Harkness, who would then honor the death certificate, pay the death benefit, 100,000 or so, to the phony beneficiaries, who happen to be Harkness and Jim Buck. So now, they take the money, they split it, they go off to Vegas and check in a nice hotel, hot and cold running blondes, and have a month in the sun, huh?
Hey, that's not a bad scam, Mac. You know that? Not bad at all.
What I want to know is, where does Barney's empty coffin come in?
Every so often, the State Board of Examiners has to look into death certificates to make sure there's no funny business going on. If there's anything fake, somebody's got to come up with a body right away. That's where Barney comes in. They had such a case down in San Diego. What did they have to do? They had to whip Barney up out of the grave and whip him down to San Diego, where he had to stand in or lie in for some unknown character in one of these fake death certificates. Unfortunately, your flaky friend, Paula.
I know. She threw a monkey wrench in the whole thing because she got the court order to raise the body, right?
Right. Harkness heard about it. So what did they have to do? They had to go down to San Diego and whip Barney back up here and whip him back down into the grave, and that's where he was when you dug down and you...
Wait a minute. I didn't dig him up, remember?
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. It's alleged.
Alleged. Don't forget that. Alleged, okay?
When it was alleged that you dug down, yes, and you got off. And that's how it happened. There was Barney back home, down where he belonged.
Up and down, up and down. Poor old Barney must feel like a yo-yo.
Barney must have a zipper on his grave.
They got out alive? How bloody stupid. You just let two mentally deficient private cops destroy a multi-million-dollar setup. Okay, Einstein, we've got ourselves a simple choice. We go with exit plan 1. Now, wait a minute. Don't you worry about my end. I've got a system that'll give the memory bank a nervous breakdown. By the time I'm through, it will take years before another computer can untangle the mess I'm going to put them in.
Spot quiz, ladies and gentlemen. What's 1/3 of 4.4 million? Come on, exercise those mental circuits. What's $4.4 million divided by 3?
I understand they were dead before they hit the ground. That's pretty fancy shooting.
That means that we can scratch Harkness and Jim Buck. Now, that leaves who?
Yeah, who? Don't forget, there's somebody up there in Sacramento on that State Board of Examiners that was tipping everybody off on these investigations well in advance.
Too many accomplices. And as you say, pretty fancy shooting.
No, don't.
Hey, Mac.
Yeah?
You seen the evening paper?
No?
Get a load of this.
What now?
Another victim. A clerk from the State Insurance Board in Sacramento.
Oh, no. That's 3 of them he's killed. 3 of them.
You know what he's doing,
What?
don't you? He's burning his bridges, killing all of his accomplices.
Who is killing? Every time I reach out for an answer, I can't find it. Nobody. Nothing.
Anything before I leave?
Oh, no, thanks, Maggie. Hey, good night.
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 Oh, I made some fresh coffee. Would you like a cup?
No, thanks. I'll see you.
Paula called.
Yeah, was there anything wrong?
Oh, no. She just wanted to shoot the breeze.
Oh, you better be careful about shooting the breeze. You know, the long-distance calls with Mac.
Oh, no, she called me. She wanted to talk about you.
Boy, you know, there's something about that girl. Every time I'm around her, I feel like a brick building is going to fall on my head. She's really weird.
Do you really think she's a jinx?
Oh, I don't know, Maggie. I don't know.
Look, you know what I really wanted to talk to you about? Well, she wanted to know if I thought that you thought that Nate Selig was a very good lawyer. I mean, he's a nice man and everything. But... Well, look, I know something about law. I mean, you know, my boyfriend, Charles, happens to be a law student. Well, as you know, you and Mr. McBride literally had to show him how to pressure an exhumation order out of the sheriff. An exhumation order, you know, that is lifting the body right out of the ground. Any good lawyer should have known how to do that the first time.
You're brilliant.
I am?
Yeah. You're brilliant. Mac. You hear that?
Yeah, I heard. That Fitz, the lawyer.
Yeah.
Get a hold of Paula Wire.
No, we don't get a hold of her. She's just headstrong enough to make a citizen's arrest. We don't want to do that.
You're right. We better go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
You summoned.
Nate, thank you for coming by. I've been thinking about all that's happened. And frankly, whatever the relationship between you and Aunt Rose, I think I'd feel better with a different attorney managing my uncle's estate and handling my personal affairs. I'm sorry.
Well, what, if you don't mind my asking, seems to be the problem?
It bothers me that it took 2 detectives to point you in the right direction.
Point me. McBride and Ryan conned an old sheriff who'd climb mountains to avoid trouble. That's all.
Then why couldn't you con that same old sheriff from the start? Tell me. Tell me.
I'll tell you something right now.
Now you listen, kid, and you live. Mouth shut. We're going out through the cemetery.
Paula?
I've got Paula!
You know what? We forgot something. Hey, Mac, that stuff went out with Hoot Gibson.
It's empty!
He's gone. It disappeared. Hey, Mac. Hey.
What do we do now, Hoot?
Hey, Selig. That money's not going to do you any good where you're going. Clear the air. Where is it?
Oh, get serious. That little mystery will be my open sesame. Believe me, McBride, with Coast Consolidated Life and Casualty out $4.4 million, there'll be bargains you wouldn't believe.
Bargains? With 3 counts of murder against you? Paula was right. You're a lousy lawyer.
Where do you suppose someone from Wind Forest would hide $4.4 million?
I'll give you 100,000 guesses.
You know, Pete, we could enjoy a lifetime together looking for that $4.4 million.
You know, Paula, it isn't that I wouldn't enjoy that. I would. I mean, it's just that it's so eerie, you know? I mean, every time we're together, it seems like the skies open up and something happens. It's weird, really weird.
Oh, Pete, that's ridiculous. Now, that's just your imagination.